You know, you've got this killer presentation on your sleek, brand new laptop. You walk into the boardroom, and dangling from the ceiling projector is just an ancient, dusty VGA cable.
Yeah, total panic mode.
Right, panic sets in immediately. So today, we're doing a deep dive into the ultimate lifesaver for exactly this scenario. We're looking at a spec sheet from HDTV Supply for a device called the Avenview C-HDM-COMPVGA converter.
Which is quite a mouthful to say.
It really
Yeah.
is. But it's basically a universal translator, right? It bridges the gap between modern digital video and those legacy analog displays you still see everywhere.
Yeah, and the translator analogy is spot on, but I mean, technically we're looking at a dedicated down converter.
A down converter. Okay, what does that mean exactly?
Well, it takes the really complex encrypted language of modern digital video, specifically an HDMI 1.3b signal, and it translates it down into the fluctuating electrical wave patterns that older formats actually understand.
Right, because it's not just like a simple physical plug adapter.
Mm.
You're translating precise digital ones and zeros into continuous analog waves in real time.
Exactly, and doing it without introducing lag, which is a pretty heavy computational lift.
Yeah, I bet.
And it gets even more complex when you look at the whole signal, you know?
Okay, so let's unpack the mechanics here, because this is where my whole translator analogy hits a major roadblock. Because HDMI carries both video and high-definition audio inside one single cable, but VGA and component video, well, those older formats on the other side of this box, they don't speak audio at all.
Right, they're strictly video formats.
Exactly. So how does this device keep the sound from just, vanishing into the ether?
Well, that's where the engineering gets really interesting, because HDMI interleaves audio and video data into the exact same digital packets. So this device uses a specialized microchip to catch those packets on the fly.
Oh, wow. Catching them live?
Yeah, it performs this high-speed extraction process. Basically, it separates the video data out, scales it for the legacy display, and then reconstructs the audio into an entirely new, independent waveform.
Oh, I love that. So it's less like a traffic cop simply routing cars and more like,
High-speed distillation process.
yes, like boiling a complex digital stew to separate the video liquid from the audio vapor, if you will.
I mean, exactly. And the video flows out to the screen, which gives you up to 1080p at 60 Hz for VGA,
Nice.
or 720p and 1080i for component. And meanwhile, that extracted audio vapor gets routed out two separate ways.
Okay, so you have options.
Right. You can send it through an SPDIF optical output, which gives you a clean digital light pulse signal that's perfect for high-end surround sound receivers. Or you can just use standard analog RCA jacks for an older stereo amp.
That is super versatile, and looking at the hardware itself, there's actually a physical toggle switch to choose between outputting to VGA or component.
Yeah, a real hardware switch.
Which is great. But wait, if I flip that switch to VGA, what is the box actually doing differently to the electrical signal inside?
It's completely changing the color space translation, because component video splits the image into brightness and
Brightness and color.
brightness and two color difference signals, yeah. But VGA, on the other hand, splits it into distinct red, green, and blue channels, plus vertical and horizontal sync pulses.
Oh, got it. So that little switch is telling the internal processor which mathematical formula to use when generating those continuous analog waves.
Exactly right.
Okay, but here is a massive red flag for me. If you are taking a modern encrypted HDMI signal, untangling it, and turning it into an unprotected analog VGA signal, isn't that just a giant piracy loophole?
I know it sounds like one.
Like, how does this thing handle digital copyright protection?
That is a crucial question, and honestly, it's why this isn't just some cheap dongle. The device is fully HDCP compliant.
Okay, so it actually follows the rules.
Yeah. HDCP is the digital protocol that prevents someone from just ripping a protected stream. This Avenview converter performs a secure cryptographic handshake with the source device.
So the laptop still knows what it's talking to.
Right. It authenticates itself so the source knows it's sending the signal to a legitimate display endpoint and not, a recording device.
Okay, so you won't just get a dreaded black screen when trying to play a protected video on an old monitor. It obeys modern copyright rules while still bridging the gap to older tech.
Precisely. And that's why it's built for commercial realities. It's enclosed in a rugged metal case. It runs on a standard 5-volt DC 1 amp power supply.
Yeah, and it comes in at around $230, right? With a 3-year Avenview warranty.
Yep, exactly. It's commercial-grade infrastructure.
Yep.
It's really meant to be installed in a server rack or behind a bar and just completely forgotten about.
Oh, and a quick pro tip for you listening. If you use the code 10% off at checkout at HDTV Supply, you can save some cash. Plus, if you happen to be near Kenmore, New York, you can just do a local pickup.
Which is super convenient.
Absolutely, because whether you are setting up a massive sports bar, prepping for a high-stakes presentation in a room that inexplicably still uses legacy tech, or you're just trying to revive that old, heavy flat screen in your basement, this deep dive proves you don't always need to go out and buy a brand new monitor.
Yeah, sometimes you just need the right intermediary to negotiate the generational divide.
Exactly. It totally validates the universal translator idea, which leaves you with something to think about. What other perfectly good, supposedly obsolete piece of technology do you have sitting in a closet right now, just waiting for the right translator to make it incredibly useful again?